Nobody in this world deserves to carry all that pain on their own. Said it's really the pain and the suffering that really unites us, you know. And that's the gift, because when we bring hello beautiful people, thought I'd come on here quickly. So today's topic is something that I myself have been around with, experiencing quite a lot, especially when I feel overwhelmed, you know, when the pains that we can at times experience as being a human gets a little over consuming, you know, like as much as we want to get out of the survival mode and to validate and feel our pain, at times when we lack the boundaries and safety within our body, instead of healing, it can be kind of re-traumatizing us. And it can bring up all these emotions of isolation, especially if you've felt like you were an outsider, or you felt like you were someone who looks at life from the outside in. You know, you just felt like you saw things differently, and for that maybe reason it felt more challenging for you to feel that sense of feeling understood. And you know, we create these big walls, and it may at times feel as though the entirety of life is against us. These are somewhere thought patterns from a certain frequency. Of course, we all want to understand, but I hope that this video can kind of be some kind of remedy in some way to ensure you, along with this advice that I'm going to give you, but to also ensure you that, you know, you're not alone, and that there are many more people out there who feel misunderstood and who feel, you know, at times, it's just natural, you know, like we can at times feel really disassociated and lost and maybe just overwhelmed. Anyway, this video is mainly about the isolation part of it, because I find myself doing that again, and you know, we get into this loop and we repeat all these things that we're unlovable, and it might even be unconscious, you know, and that causes most of this pain. And while at times it's super important to spend time, you know, alone and by ourselves, nobody in this world deserves to carry all that pain on their own. And you know, the more that we realize that this pain, this collective pain that we experience, these aspects of ourselves within the subconscious, you know, and we all share. And the reality of that is because everything in our experience is on a similar frequency to us. Everything, every being that is conscious experiences emotion. So you're definitely not alone. But it can at times, through this illusion and, you know, the separatedness, and I know that's really far-fetched, especially when we're completely in it, but these feelings can make us feel as though we're completely alone, and it can be really tough to put ourselves out there, you know, to seek connection again, healthy connection, to seek a sense of belonging, longing, inclusion, because at least for myself, I felt most of my life that and this mainly had to do with my own turbulent upbringing, full of emotional neglect in my family. But I guess I brought that into friendships, and I always felt like nobody was really on my side, and as much as I tried to find love in all these places, I was sacrificing my real sense of self because I thought that I needed to earn that love. So, you know, if this is part of your experience right now, I need you to remember and know that underneath all of those experiences, you are deeply loved for who you are, and you are still and have always been an amazing, loving, gentle, open person from the beginning, you know. And we're all on this journey together anyway, because, you know, suffering is real, and we all suffer. That's just this world. There's no denying this world is suffering. But it doesn't mean that there's no beauty in it. And I know it can be really tough at times to also see the beauty that is currently available and here when our body is in survival, that it's always trying to fix and soothe and understand, and we ask ourselves why, and you know, we're by nature not meant to understand why. You know, that's mainly the reason why we've fallen from the Eden, because we asked why, and it opened our eyes to understanding and thought, you know. And while there's beauty and a lot of freedom in that, it has its limitations. And now, from the Eden's fallen perspective, which I really stand by, and at times I really see that truth and I feel it throughout every cell. We've forgotten because we've clinged onto the idea of the reality that we are separate, and it's because we just always want to understand. You know, when we're in the survival mode and we feel just utterly in discomfort, you know, like the pain might be overruling and overwhelming to an extent where we're kind of drowning in it, you know, and we can't really seem to live without it, you know, like, and to just finally put it on the brake. And you know, whilst it's important to validate, and I said this in the beginning, it's super important to calm ourselves, you know, and you know, might it be through tantra, you know, like these are all just means of ways of regulating our nervous system and to live more intimately with our bodies. We take walks and we slowly touch ourselves. It makes our bodies feel a little more at ease and calm. It is then easier to come back to more and fall back to more positive thoughts. You know, we the body then believes it's safe, and the thoughts then change, and the frequency shifts, vibration shifts, reality shifts. You know, from a place with a calm nervous system, we inevitably find, you know, connections that have that foundation of softness, loveness, nurturing, calmness. But still, how do we go? You know, if you're someone like me, I travel I've been traveling for 5 years now, non-stop. We are our soul, yet at the same time we're searching for meaning. At times it might feel we're enslaved to love. There are many levels to this game. But how can we go from, you know, it seems impossible to see connection, you know, like it's maybe to find that within your family dynamic that wasn't built upon a safe foundation from love instead of learning how to survive. You know, it can feel almost impossible and daunting to go out and put yourself out there instead of perpetuating these thoughts and staying in our shell. So how do we go out? So what really helped for me, and it continues to help, and you know, I still struggle with this at times, but you know, the more that we do it, the more, and it will require courage and courage over and over again, and that's for everything that's scary. But on the other side of those things are the things that we're actually looking for, is, you know, try to seek out a community and, you know, trust your instinct. And you know, you don't need to necessarily be 100% understood by your friends or your family or even certain people, you know, because what I realized was everybody is trying and wants to understand you, and even if they are completely wrong and they don't get it, their intentions most of the time is still good when you are really vulnerable, because vulnerability is truly what intimacy means. You know, to be intimate with life, and to be intimate with the wounds, and to bring it to the forefront of the experience. And when we do, life truly brings such amazing gifts to us. And I also truly believe that, you know, the more vulnerable we are, and the better we learn to communicate, we attract people who have reached those certain realizations, and, you know, what we might call for ourselves, and the depth that we're looking for. You know, that's what we're looking for with other people. We're looking for other people who share the same amount of what we experience as the same, having processed certain emotions and feelings. As Richard Rudd, the writer and channeler of Shinkies, he said it's really the pain and the suffering that really unites us, you know. And that's the gift, because when we bring that suffering and pain to the forefront, you know, these are gems, you know, because within all of our pain is truth, you know, and sharing that pain in whichever way it is, and even if you're feeling utterly down, and, you know, even just still sharing whatever it is that you're facing, it's a gift to the whole world. Yeah, don't let it need to be at a point where, you know, like, and I've experienced this so many times, you know, where you would just rather want it to stop, you know, you just don't want to live, or you know, you just want to end it, you know, you want to find ways to escape, and that is okay. Like, all these feelings and thoughts are valid, you know, even to the extent of suicidal, like, they're completely valid. It doesn't necessarily mean that we should abide any of those. Okay, another thing that really helped me was, you know, seek out some sense of community, you know, and I was lucky enough to end up in, you know, as we're all, most of the viewers that watch me, we're in spiritual communities, you know, and I believe that the more that we suffer, the more that we also experience the light, you know, and the beauty and the love behind it. So yeah, I ended up on, I think it's Third Eye Kingdom or something. It's a wonderful name, right? On Instagram, and I was strongly called to join this community group. And you know, I had just left my physical community that I was living at in Thailand, and, you know, it just didn't really resonate and work well for me. Like, there were just all kinds of things. By the way, my heart wasn't there anyway, and, you know, ended up going to Cebu in the Philippines, and spent a lot of time alone, isolating myself. Came to Bali in the hope for, you know, more community and people, which I have thankfully found more and more and more, you know, especially around my hobbies and passion. But I ended up on this spiritual community chat, and when I just entered, like, I think we were all just going through a lot of shit. And I remember the first day that I joined, we were all, I think it was the day that it literally opened, like 24 hours. And everybody was just pouring their hearts out, you know, like sharing all their pains and struggles. And everybody was really doing their best to, like, validate one another and to see one another and to, like, be there for one another, you know. And, you know, despite that, some people, like, just don't get it, and they still tried, you know, and that was so beautiful, and I see so much beauty in that. And I think that's really what we all want, So that's actually the title of this video, From Isolation to Community, because it's really there, and it's an experience that we can tap into, and it's a mindset too. Just like anything, whether it's our relationship with wealth, whether it's our relationship with other people, whether it's our relationship with vulnerability. Yeah, we need to trust that we will find it eventually. And so basically, they're like, I'm on an island right now, and there are only horses. Like, there's literally only one car, and I think it's for bricks and stuff. But look at that, man! Isn't that amazing? Oh yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? Look at that guy. Either way, I'm gonna tell you, it's a ripple effect, like when we give love to one another, and we need to trust that love is always accessible, because love is incredibly abundant. It's everywhere, and everybody wants to give it. Everybody wants to share their love, and at many times we feel that nobody wants to, and because we feel so unworthy and undeserving. But I'm telling you, when we lean into vulnerability, and we join certain communities, and it doesn't need to be physical. It can be just a simple group chat of like a spiritual community, and just share and start with something that is true to you, even if it's super from an insecure place, like just say it out. People will recognize and see how you feel. And just know that you're seen, and you will be validated, you will be heard, and it will feel like the weight is lifted off your shoulders, and people will send you love, and you'll get back on your feet again, and you'll be able to bring love into your own heart again, no matter how you feel. And slowly by slowly, you'll find the right connections with people again. Because people come and go, and I don't know in which phase in your life you are right now. I believe everybody, we all end up alone again, and we then find new people, and we're alone again. Or if you're married, or whether you are already in a partnership or you have marriage, take time for yourself. You're still a person by yourself, and come back to the relationship all anew again, and share how amazing it is to connect with another person so deeply. And don't take that connection for granted, because nobody deserves to feel that isolation, especially, and it is your responsibility to heal. But while it is probably passed on to you, like it's not your fault that you grew up in unsafe environments, but it is always your responsibility to do something about it, and to remain courageous and fearless. See, that guy was fast. Alright, so that wraps up the video for today, guys. I hope this brought some light to some given situations, and I hope it can give you some clarity. And that clarity is it's right around the corner. I want you to trust in life, and have faith. That's all I want to say. Faith in the end is all that there is. So, have a good one, and I love you. Take care, and see you in the next video. For my ebook, The Power of Imagination, it's in the description below. Other free resources in the description below. One-on-one coaching, down below. I work a lot and I specialize in human design. So whether it's you're starting out your business, you want to scale your business through advertisements, just don't know where to start, whatever that might be around marketing or putting yourself out there, stepping more boldly into leadership or into your powers or problems that you face with connections. I'm here. I've also been working in the trauma space for quite a bit. If there are certain things that you really profoundly want to shift and you want to step into a different reality and vibration and manifest perhaps more freedom or companionship in your life, deeper relationships or a better relationship with yourself, there's a version of you that's like utterly different, and I've literally had people wake up and they feel like a complete different person. Anyway, so email also found below, resources below, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.